Hello and welcome. You're watching UATV News with me, Ksenia Buhai. First, this hour, the latest developments from Ukraine, payments, tax, amnesty and debt relief. The parliament will soon receive bills on support of businesses during quarantine. President Volodymyr Zelensky informed that they would also concern compensation for private entrepreneurs who cannot work during quarantine. Besides, the state is going to compensate a single social contribution fee for each employee for those enterprises that had to put their activities on hold because of the quarantine restrictions. According to the head of state, the government will supplement and update business support programs as well. While the daily growth of the infected with coronavirus has slightly decreased, the number of hospitalized is still growing. Our correspondent studied the current situation in Ukrainian hospitals.
90,000 Ukrainians were infected with the COVID-19 over the past week. More than 10,000 of them were hospitalized. But the Ministry of Health stays confident, ensuring that situation is under control. Hospitals hold enough unoccupied beds.
To date, the country's bed capacity allocated for patients with COVID-19 is 53,445 beds. This is the figure for the entire country. As of Monday, 27,792 patients are treated in hospitals. The occupancy rate is 52%.
The capital is one of the leaders of the anti-rating. Here, 1,422 residents became infected over the past day. More than 100 were hospitalized. Doctors called not to self-treat and contact the family doctor at the very earliest symptoms.
If you have symptoms such as fever that either does not go reduce with antibiotic drugs or the efficacy is short and not full, or if the patient gets breath shortness and that has not been observed before, or if there are symptoms such as swelling of the legs or coughing with blood spit, you need to address a doctor immediately.
According to Ukrainian Health Ministry, almost 26,000 beds in Ukrainian hospitals are provided with oxygen. Half of them are already occupied by patients. However, Kyiv, Kharkiv and Cherkasy regions have the need to increase this number. Kharkiv Regional Infectious Diseases Hospital has equipped more than 60 concentrators and connected 150 beds to oxygen. However, this is not enough for all infected.
The adult hospitals are not yet equipped with oxygen pipeline systems. Well, it's in process. Some adult patients are placed in children's hospital. You see, the barrel here is frozen and the oxygen pressure drops, and subsequently it causes lack of the necessary oxygen flow.
The profile hospitals of the Donetsk region are more than 60% full. Doctors say all medical institutions holding patients with COVID-19 are connected to oxygen. For example, the Minograd Infectious Disease Hospital uses concentrators of different capacity types, from 5-liter to 20-liter barrels.
Each one is designed for 3 patients. This is not enough. We have started the procurement process at the expense of the regional budget at a total sum of $35,000.
12,287 new infected people have been registered in Ukraine for the past 24 hours. 188 died. 8,298 recovered. Reported by Nextarkov, Vlada Tsurkan, UATV News.
Another great Ukrainian, Director General of the Yuzhnoye State Design Office, Oleksandr Dehtiariov, died because of the COVID-19. The Office of the President of Ukraine expressed condolences to the family and friends. Oleksandr Dehtiariov was one of the most experienced specialists in the aerospace industry. Up next, 160 pages of real truths. Memoirs of Lavrentii Nechyporenko, witness to the Holodomor Famine of 1932-1933, was passed to the Holodomor-Genocide Museum. The exhibit is unique and remains in perfect condition, but the history of writing and attempts to publish the diary change the destiny of generations. Our journalists will tell you more.
The notebook was kept in the KGB archives. Maria Kirilenko's father had spent 5 years in exile for keeping it at home.
There are small holes here on the margins indicating that this notebook was filed to the KGB case against Ivan Kovalenko, my father.
In 1960, physics teacher Lavrentii Nechyporenko wrote a book of memories and called it Year 33. It was impossible to publish the diary of a kind in the Soviet Union. Together with his colleagues, teacher Ivan Kovalenko, the author decided to distribute the diary through the underground press without officials' permission.
He wasn't a big conspirator. The Declaration of Human Rights was always on his desk. When told not to speak or write some things, he always answered that he lives according to the declaration. When the KGB confiscated the forbidden materials from our house, they have also confiscated the Declaration of Human Rights as an element of samizdat, a periodical issued without official permission.
In 1996, the KGB archives were declassified by the Security Service of Ukraine and the diary became public. It's for the first time Lavrentii Nechyporenko's son holds the manuscript in his hands.
My father started making records during the last decade of his life. I knew that he was writing something, but I haven't seen his notebook up to this moment.
The notebook will be placed in the Holodomor-Genocide Museum next to other newly revealed exhibits. They will become the basis of the exposition of the second stage of the museum, which is now being constructed.
For more than 50 years, the information was classified. Step by step, it was gradually allowed to mention some small facts about the Holodomor, and I'm thankful to such families who managed to preserve the precious memories.
Year by year, there are fewer and fewer witnesses of the Holodomor Famine. But scientists and demographers find new facts of the genocide of the Ukrainian people every year. They found that life expectancy after birth in 1933 fell to a critically low level. At the time, 28,000 people were dying of hunger daily. According to the Institute of Demography, in 1932-1933, almost 4 million Ukrainians died. Reported by Nick Starkov, Inna Mazarkevich, Serhiy Savchuk, UATV News.
The Holodomor Famine in 33 languages. An audio guide was introduced at the National Museum of the Genocide Holodomor. It provides the widest range of translations among all museums in the world. The development of the project took 1.5 years and involved 150 people. Museum workers, volunteers, and even ambassadors from different countries provided the voiceovers. They have recorded 170 hours of text that is already available for museum visitors. It is very important for the world to know the truth about Holodomor genocide. It is also important because of the situation that is happening in the world today and that is happening today in the east of Ukraine. We talk about Russia's war against Ukraine. The recognition of the Holodomor by the world is automatically a recognition of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. High-speed 4G mobile web access will be available along Ukrainian national roads in 3 years. The Ministry of Digitization stated on January 1st, 2023, 4G coverage will appear on all international highways and by July 1st, 2024, along all major national roads. In order to implement the decision, the ministry plans to co-work with largest mobile operators in Ukraine. This was announced by Vice Prime Minister, Minister for Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, during a media briefing dedicated to the launch of the 4G connection within the range of 900 MHz. Ukrainian operators are using the band since July.
As you know, we have a goal to cover up to 95% of the territory of Ukraine by 2024-2025. Next year, we want to move on to covering highway strategic routes. This is very important because while we cover small villages, towns and cities, the problem of strategic routes has been left unsolved. Developing a digital state is impossible without it.
Make a kind present, an annual action that helps to fulfill the dreams of children. The children from boarding schools and low-income families started in Odesa. Everyone willing can choose a child and present him or her with a gift. Children have different wishes, from felty pens and shampoo to cell phones. Our correspondents will tell you more.
These are the first presents collected all together: warm clothes, toys, shampoos and soaps. These are the wishes of children from boarding schools. Children with special needs are paid particular attention this year.
It is very important for us to collect children's dreams and wishes, make the proper atmosphere for the child to be happy without the participation of adults. It is possible, believe me. We put the wishes to such lists and publish them. Residents of Odesa do admire such kind of assistance, that is, providing help to a certain child.
Children dream of a punch bag, an umbrella someone wants to receive, nail kits, a bicycle, shoes, perfume or a variety of toys.
Children ask for a guitar or pets. It all depends on the child and distance of the boarding school from Odessa. Unfortunately, the further, the poorer a boarding school is. But the main goal of the action is to draw attention to a child. It is great that thanks to our campaign, 68 children have found families and are no longer staying in the boarding schools.
Ludmila takes part in the action every year. She chooses gifts together with her children.
They willingly gather presents and they want other children to be as happy with gifts as they are. I'm from a large family and I know how important it is to make such pleasant moments.
Presents will be given to children on New Year holidays. Volunteers will deliver them to boarding schools. They plan to fulfill the dreams of thousands of children by the end of the year. Reported by Nick Starkov, Anna Horodentseva, Arsen Padasyan, UATV News.
That was our final story this hour. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. More updates on our official website, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter pages.